Right, I'm going to do a few factoring problems. The first one that I'm going to do is x squared plus 4xy minus 5y squared. Now, if you'll notice, this is the first time that we've had two variables in it with an x and a y. But if you look at it, this is a, this is b, and this is c for the x's. See, if I just wrote it as x squared plus 4x minus 5, because there are no x's with this one, then it would be a normal quadratic. Or if you go this way, 5y squared, and then a y, and then no y's. So it's also a quadratic this way. So whichever way you want to look at it, it's a quadratic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go, okay, well, since it's a quadratic this way and a quadratic that way, I'm just going to look at it as x squared plus 4x minus 5. Okay? Now, this is an a equals 1 problem. All right, so if a equals 1, that if you think about your little chart, it goes, first of all, is there a GCF? No. Well, it's equal to 1. Second, I go, all right, well, a equals 1. I'm on my little flow map that you have on the classroom. Okay, so then a equals 1. And if a equals 1, then I just say blank times blank equals c. And blank plus blank equals 4. All right, now I do my multiples of 5. So that's 1 and 5. And that is it. So that makes 4. So 1 and 5, 1 and 5. But I need a positive 4 and a negative 5. So yeah, negative 1 times 5 is negative 5. Negative 1 plus 5 is 4. So that's it. And then I would write my answer here. So it would be x plus blank. So x minus 1. And times x plus blank. So x plus 5. Now, this would be all well and good if this was the original problem. But it's not. This is the original problem. Well, if it begins with x's and this side begins with y's, then just make these y's. So my answer is going to be x minus 1y and x plus 5y. See? Okay, and then you know that you don't like to put, we don't put ones with the variables, so finally I'm going to write it as x minus y and x plus 5y. And that's it. You can also FOIL it out in a box, you know, do the little multiplication box to check that you got it right. But x times x is x squared. This gives you an xy, 5xy. This gives you a negative xy, which would be 5 minus 1 is 4xy. And then negative 5y squared. So we did it correctly. So basically you just do the whichever variable you want. Just pretend the other one's not there since they're evenly x squared, x, and nothing. Y squared, y, and nothing. Okay? All right, let's do another one. Oh, this was quadratic methods. Sorry. That was bad of me. Okay, let's do another one. 30x squared plus 11xy plus y squared. Okay. All right, now this one is 30x squared plus 11x plus no x's. See? Squared, x, nothing. And the other way, squared, y, nothing. So it's the same as like this one up here. So I'm just going to write it as 30x squared plus 11x plus 1. Remember, if you don't see a number there, write a 1. Up here, there was a 5y squared, so we wrote a 5. Well, negative 5, because it was negative 5y squared. Here, it was just a plus a y squared. Well, that's a 1 there, so we're still going to write the 1. Okay? All right, now this one is there a GCF? No. And then we go, all right, well, a is not equal to 1 in this one. So I'm going to do the AC, rewrite B. So blank times blank equals AC, which is 30, and blank plus blank equals B, which is 11. All right, 1 and 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 10. I'm just writing out the factors of 30. 4 doesn't. 5 and 6. And then 6 and 5, so that's that one. All right, now do any of these make 11? 6 plus 5 makes 11. Remember, you add and subtract them. And see if any of them add or subtract to 11. And 5 and 6 do. 5 times 6 is 30, and 5 plus 6 is 11. So got it. So now I rewrite my leading. So that's 30x squared plus blank x plus blank x plus 1. Remember, bring these straight down, and these get split up. Now we put those in the box and try to figure it out. $30x squared, 5x, 6x, 1. All right. Greatest common factor between 6 and 1 is just 1. Greatest common factor between 30 and 5 is 5x. See, they both have an x in them, but not an x squared. Now go this way. 30 and 6 is 6x, because they both have an x. And this one is just, between 5 and 1, is just 1. All right, now let's check it. 6 times 5 is 30x squared, 6x, 5x, 1. That's it. So we get 6x plus 1 times 5x plus 1. But don't forget, make sure you look at your original problem. What did it come from? It had y's in it. So you got to put y's at the ends of both of them. So our answer is really 6x plus, and I'm not going to write 1y this time. I'm just going to write y. And then 5x plus 1y, which is just y. All right, and that's it.